Okay, here's actually one question I did want to ask you about Israel and the allyship and all the good that it does. If that is true, why do we still hear so much about an AIPAC presence as a lobby? Why does AIPAC still exist? Why does Israel need AIPAC to do all of these things? From what I understand as a guy who's not super political, they have a large influence on the government. But if we're already getting so much out of Israel, why do we need that lobbyist?
So, I mean,
why do they need it?
You're definitely out of my depth on this one.
Fuck yeah.
Because when it comes to a lot of the political lobbies and what's involved in them and how they work, that's not foreign intelligence.
Yeah, I can understand that.
That's like domestic.
I guess my question, as you're talking it all out, I'm thinking it in my mind. I'm like, okay, that all makes sense. But then why would we need an AIPAC? Or why would Israel need an AIPAC to have such influence here? And, Bernie Sanders has said, like, you go against them, they'll get you out of office.
Yeah.
Why do they need that if they offer so much value?
Yeah, our elected politicians, they need a vacation to, Israel.
I mean, you know what? I guess I can understand that to a degree, but if they offer so much good, it feels like they wouldn't need such a strong... Like, I'm trying to think, England is an ally of ours, as far as I know, that we have a great relationship with. There's no English lobby.
So this is a great point. So you're actually raising something that is really relevant here it's both relevant and I know something about it. Israel doesn't trust the United States. Israel actively tries to send Mossad agents to penetrate the United States. They're actively recruiting spies inside the United States in our nuclear programs, in our weapons and military programs, in our intelligence programs. Like, Israel is actively trying to spy on the United States.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So they don't trust us. They don't trust us to do what we say we're going to do.
Why is
they
that?
don't trust us not to spy on them. Because I think they understand American pragmatism better than most Americans understand American pragmatism, right? Israel is one of the few countries in the world that's surrounded on almost all sides by enemies. Mm-hmm. Not just like, I don't like you enemies, but existential threat enemies. People who want to wipe the Jewish state off the map.
And to give Israel credit, to act like there haven't been terrorist attacks / attempted terrorist attacks constantly is a ridiculous thing to say.
Is it fair to say they have a militaristic paranoia?
I would venture away from paranoia because it's demonstrable.
But when it comes to dealing with the United States as far as intelligence?
Yeah, that would seem like paranoia.
Like, is there demonstrable evidence the United States is withholding information from the Israeli government or Mossad?
So the United States has a full transparency agreement with 4 other countries. That's what makes what's known as the Five Eyes. So Canada, the United Kingdom, New Zealand, Australia, and the United States.
Are they called the Five Eyes because CIA, MI6, the I in the intelligence agency?
I actually don't know. And it's funny, when you look at it written out, it's the word I, E-Y-E.
Oh.
So
okay.
I don't really know where it came from. But those are the only 5 countries that really agree to full transparency. And even then, that full transparency has policy rigor around it. Mm-hmm. Israel's not part of that. Mm-hmm. So they already know that they're not part of an agreement that says we're going to share everything. So then they have to wonder, like, what are you going to share? What aren't you going to share? Mm-hmm. And when it comes to Israel, the thing they're the most interested about is not what is the United States collecting about Israel. It's what is the United States collecting about a threat to Israel that they're not telling Israel. Mm-hmm. So what did the United States collect about Hezbollah that they're not telling Israel? What did the United States collect about Iran that they're not telling Israel? And they want to shore up that gap.
And that's why they're so paranoid, and they'll still have a lack of trust for us.
I mean, they have a lack of trust for Israel, again, and I want to differentiate between Israel and Jews. Mm-hmm. Not the same thing.
Yes, that is a super important thing to do.
Right? But Israel's it doesn't know who to trust, and it arguably doesn't trust anyone. It's a young country. It's almost like the relationships that it does have are all pragmatic, based on economy and military trading and shared borders or whatever else. It doesn't really have anyone who's ideologically aligned with the Jewish state, because Israel does not have its differentiation of church and state. Mm-hmm. They are the Jewish state. The government is the religion is the government. Okay. So that's fundamentally different than here in the United States.
Mm-hmm. And so does America trust Israel?
No. At the government level, the United States does not trust Israel.
Why?
Because of all the same reasons. We know they're trying to penetrate us. We know that they manipulate us. We know that they manipulate trade. We know that they have agreements and partnerships, and they do all sorts of things with other countries that are beneficial to Israel but not beneficial to the United States. So there's this inherent distrust of these two allies that inherently need each other on opposite sides of the world.
Is that a new phenomenon, or do you feel like this has precedent in history?
It has precedent for sure, and it's the way that most relationships around the world actually do work. There's a famous quote that you learn at the agency that actually comes from from statesmanship and diplomacy that says there are no permanent friends or enemies, only permanent interests.
That's good.
So you have permanent interests.
I think that's a life lesson.
But people come and go based on whether or not they agree with your interests or not.
Is there any evidence of different governments, globally speaking, that withhold intelligence information of a potential attack for some other interest?
So it's a yes and no answer, right? Generally speaking, imminent threat to life. Imminent threat to life means very pressing in terms of a timeline. 48 hours, 72 hours, that type of thing. Imminent threat to life, arguably, even complete enemies should advise each other, right? So if we in the United States find out that some extremist group in China is going to bomb a public event in Beijing, we'll tell China, right? It's kind of a duty to warn is what we call it. And other countries agree the same thing for us. So there should be that for imminent threats. But for strategic threats, which are long-term threats, or tactical threats, it becomes more dicey. And now it becomes, well, if we tell them about this attack that could happen in 3 months, are we exposing our source? And if we're exposing our source, is it worth possibly losing the source to prevent that attack? Or is it better to wait until the attack is imminent and then warn them 2 days or 3 days in advance?
I noticed you said the word should. Have you ever seen it not happen?
Oh, I've seen it happen a number of times, especially in even the takedown of Osama bin Laden, right? Pakistan was an ally. We crossed Pakistani borders illegally to take out Osama bin Laden. We didn't warn the Pakistanis that there was going to be a violent attack on their country until right before we crossed the border, right?
Now, we're getting into conspiracy territory, okay? You can punt on this if you want. But there is a theory that Mossad had some forewarning of the September 11th attacks, and that they were in some way maybe knew about it and then didn't inform the United States. And I've seen it like pop up on Twitter a lot.
That is the kindest conspiracy theory I've heard
For real.
about anything Israeli adjacent.
It's like a Mormon conspiracy theory.
We heard about dancing Israelis over in Jersey, so celebrating out there. So.
People call it different things. But I'm curious, have you heard of this theory, and do you think there's any validity to it?
I think there's actually probability to it. And I say that because even in the United States, CIA and FBI both had information about the September 11th attacks before they happened. Now, whether or not Israel nefariously held that information back is a different story. Was it there and they just didn't see it? Was it there and they didn't validate it? Was it there and they communicated to the United States and said, hey, we're getting some strange warnings. Do you have anything about a pending attack in your country? Right? And the United States, they did, but it was on the cutting room floor and nobody was talking about it. So they may have very well come back and been like, nope, you know what you're talking about.
Wasn't there a huge lack of communication pre 9/11 between CIA and FBI and other information agencies, and then post, they've sort of opened that up better?
Yeah, so that's exactly getting back to what the DNI is and why the DNI exists. Prior to 9/11, the United States was basically a bunch of intelligence community members who coordinated when they wanted to. And they all spoke different languages, right? You speak military, you speak intel, you speak signals intelligence, or the people who listen in on phone calls, right? Well, when you write a report, you use different terminology when you write a report. And when you have an asset, you didn't coordinate your asset with him. So it might be the same asset for all we know, only yours is 24612 and yours is codenamed, hard nipples, whatever.
Falcon.
Yeah. But nobody was talking to each other in the same language. So when the 9/11 commission happened, and in 2003, when Senate came in and said, we're changing, when really all of Congress came in and said, we're changing how we do intelligence business, we are appointing a DNI, a director of national intelligence, who's going to standardize and uniform and make everything more uniform.
Are we less effective in a sense because of this?
I would say we're more effective.
Okay.
We're more effective, but we're also fatter.
Yeah. I get it. I get it. I get it.